What is the 2020 census? Every 10 years, the census records everyone living in this country. It's written in the Constitution and comes in a questionnaire that counts everyone who lives at your address on April 1st. The data can be used to inform funding for services like fire stations, schools, clinics, and representation that affect your community. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
What can we do to make an impact in our community? We can share our knowledge, be leaders, or simply participate in the 2020 census. The census wants our community to be counted accurately. That count informs decisions that affect funding for hundreds of programs, like Medicare, daycare, and arts education. When the community comes together, anything is possible.
Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov.
How will 2020 census data be used? Where there are more people, there are more needs for public services. That's why the census is used by the government to inform funding decisions each year. But that's not all. It's also used by nonprofits to inform services, by businesses to create jobs, and even by students for school projects. Understanding how the population changes helps us shape communities across the country for the better. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Is my 2020 census data safe? After sending your census response, your personal information is kept safe. By law, it can't be shared with any other government agency, law enforcement, or landlord. No one. So take your 2020 census with peace of mind. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Figuring out who counts in the 2020 census isn't complicated.
Everyone living in your home on April 1st counts.
My aunt and uncle who live with us count.
My best friend who sleeps over every Friday night doesn't count.
My new baby sister, she counts.
My mom's best friend who's been living with us, she counts.
Our dog, Mr. BB, should count, but he doesn't.
Complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Welcome to the 2020 Census. This video will introduce you to the 2020 Census, present a quick overview of the online questionnaire, and help you answer the questions. The 2020 Census is a count of every person living in the United States. The census is required by the U.S. Constitution and takes place once every 10 years. The 2020 Census is very important. Your responses help to determine the number of seats each state has in Congress and guide how more than $675 billion in federal funding is spent in communities each year. The 2020 Census is easy. Completing these questions only takes about 10 minutes. You can respond online from a computer, tablet, or mobile phone 24 hours a day. You can also respond over the phone or using the paper questionnaire. If you respond, we may not need to send a Census Bureau interviewer to visit you. An interviewer may still visit if you respond late, if we have follow-up questions, or for other surveys. Your information is confidential. Federal law protects your responses. Your answers can only be used to produce statistics and cannot be used against you by any government agency or court. Now we will take you on a quick tour of the Internet questionnaire. Step-by-step instructions will be provided later in the video. When you visit my2020census.gov, you will log in using the Census ID from the materials that were mailed to you or left at your door. We will ask you to confirm your address and provide your name and phone number. Next, we will ask you to count how many people will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020. And list the name of each person who will be living or staying at your address. We will also remind you to include people that might have been missed. We will ask whether the home is owned or rented, and who owns or rents the home. We will ask each person about their sex, date of birth and age, Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and race. When there is more than one person at an address, we will ask how they are related to the reference person. Finally, we will ask whether anyone sometimes stays at another address. If you're ready to begin, go to my2020census.gov now. The online questionnaire is available in English and 12 non-English languages. To select a language, click on the globe icon and select the name of the language, or select the name of the language at the bottom of any screen. Don't worry if you are looking for a language that is not listed. This video will show a step-by-step demonstration. Keep watching. You will need to complete the 2020 census in one session. If you leave, you will have to start over. To begin, choose Start Questionnaire. First, enter your 12-digit Census ID. Your Census ID is on the materials that we mailed to your address or left at your door. If you do not have a Census ID, select the link below the Login button and answer some additional questions about your address. You will still be able to respond. Then, confirm that you are completing the 2020 Census questionnaire for the address shown. Select Yes or No. If you will be staying at this address on April 1st, choose Yes. Otherwise, choose No. The Next button takes you forward, and the Previous button takes you back. Do not use the forward or back buttons on your browser, or else you may need to start over. Next, enter your name and telephone number. Enter your full name in English letters. Sometimes a message may appear on the screen that asks you to check your response or enter additional information. review what you entered before selecting the next button. Enter the number of people, including yourself, who will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020. Click on the underlined blue links for help with the questions. Make sure that you count people where they usually live and sleep. If someone does not have a usual residence, count them where they will be staying on April 1st. Include babies and children of all ages, close or extended family members, people who are not related to you, and people staying here without a permanent place to live. Do not include anyone who lives away from this address most of the year, such as college students, armed forces personnel, people in a nursing home, mental hospital, jail, prison, detention center, etc., or people visiting who usually live and sleep somewhere else. These people will be counted in other ways. Then, list the name of each person living or staying at this address. To add more people, select the button labeled Add Another Person. We do not want to miss any people staying at this address on April 1st. If you forgot to include anyone who stays here, choose Yes and enter those names. Otherwise, choose No. Now you're ready for the next two questions about the home at this address. On April 1st, will the house, apartment, or mobile home at this address be owned by you or someone in this household with a mortgage or loan, including home equity loans, owned by you or someone in this household free and clear without a mortgage or loan, rented, or occupied without payment of rent? Then, select the names of the owners or renters of this house, apartment, or mobile home. Next, we ask some questions about each person you listed earlier. First, we ask if the person is male or female. We also ask you to enter the month, day, and year this person was born. Make sure that the age that appears is correct as of April 1st, 2020. Next, we ask about Hispanic origin and race. Please answer both this and the next question. Select whether this person is not of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, Mexican, Mexican-American, or Chicano, Puerto Rican, Cuban, or another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. If you selected the last response, enter more details in the box below. Next, we ask about race. Select one or more checkboxes: white, black or African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Chinese, Filipino, Asian Indian, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, other Asian, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Chamorro, other Pacific Islander, or some other race. Enter detailed origins in the boxes that look like this. Additional people will also see this question: how is this person related to the reference person? Select opposite-sex husband, wife, or spouse, opposite-sex unmarried partner, same-sex husband, wife, or spouse, same-sex unmarried partner, biological son or daughter, adopted son or daughter, stepson or stepdaughter, brother or sister, father or mother, grandchild, parent-in-law, son-in-law or daughter-in-law, other relative, roommate or housemate, foster child, or other non-relative. We're almost finished. Some people live or stay in more than one place, and we need to make sure everyone is only counted once. Select the name of anyone who usually lives or stays somewhere else. Otherwise, choose none of the above. If a person does usually live or stay somewhere else, select the reason why from the following: to be with a parent, grandparent, or other person, to attend college, for a military assignment, to be closer to a job or business, in a nursing home or group home, in a jail or prison, at a seasonal or second residence, or for another reason. Great job! You are now ready to send your responses. Select Submit Questionnaire to complete the 2020 census. You will see a confirmation page with your address and today's date. That's it. You have completed the 2020 census online. Thank you. You may now close the web browser. To share this video or similar videos in other languages, please visit 2020census.gov/languages.
Hey, it's Kelvin, and I'm here today to test your knowledge of my favorite thing, the 2020 Census. Now, what's the 2020 Census? Well, it's when the U.S. Census Bureau counts everyone who lives in the U.S. and its territories. First question. In what year was the first U.S. Census conducted? Was it 1720, 1850, or 1790? If you said 1790, then by George, I think you got it. And by George, I mean George Washington, who was president during the first census. Yeah, my jokes will get better. Maybe. The 2020 census begins in the spring of 2020. So, here's your next question. How often does the U.S. Census Bureau count the entire population of the country? Every year, every 5 years, or every 10 years? Here's a hint. I was still in diapers during the last count. No, not 5 years. You think I was in diapers at age 7? Very funny. The answer is every 10 years. By the way, that's why they call it the decennial census. Because you know, decennial literally means something that happens every 10 years. Okay, moving on. About how many people did the U.S. Census Bureau count in the U.S. in 2010? Was it about 209 million, 309 million, or 509 million? The answer is about 309 million. And, fun fact, of that number, 100 million lived in just 4 states: California, Florida, New York, and Texas. That's a lot of people. Okay, now listen carefully to this one. According to the U.S. Census Bureau information, what percentage of households in the U.S. had a computer at home in 2017? Keep in mind that smartphones count as computers. Was it about 50%, 70%, or 90%? And the Census Bureau's American Community Survey says about 90%. True or false? Census responses help inform how more than $675 billion in federal funds are spent in states and communities every year. Really? You think it's that much money every year? Well, yes it is! Ding, ding, ding! This money is used to help make schools, fire departments, and hospitals in your community. It helps build roads, it helps with housing, well, the point is, it does a lot of stuff. Oh, that sound means our time is up. Congratulations, you won an amazing prize. You've won the chance to be counted in the upcoming census. What did you expect? A week off from school? You know what that's called. Spring break. Well, that's it for today. I've got to go. I'm late for gym class. Also, go home today and circle April 1st, 2020 on your calendar. April 1st, 2020 is also Census Day. It's a day to remind the grown-ups you live with to respond to the 2020 census. They can respond online, by phone, or by mail. It's easy. So when I ask if someone in your household completed the 2020 census, your answer should be yes.